do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Hey, no interruptions. Yes, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, finally. And I figured out what it is, why it was cutting out.
Microsoft.
No, it was the uploading through StreamYard.
You uploaded it to StreamYard and it didn't upload correctly, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the original that you have in storage
Works.
but the upload to StreamYard got glitched. So it got choppy. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, it is not the teeny tiny file.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that would work, so we're going to use it for a while.
Yeah, I've still got to re-record the audio for the little ad that I did for Apelian because Hillbilly wants to do Apelian commercials in one of the podcasts he does, and the one that I've got is 1.5 minutes long, and he goes, "Yeah, 30 seconds to a minute is about the length we need," and I'm going, I'll have to re-record that voiceover because there's no way I can chop that without screwing it up entirely.
Yep.
Played at 1.5 times speed.
I don't. Well, I'd sound like a munchkin.
And never mind.
The gravitas would be absent.
Oh. So how is everybody's weekend so far?
So far, pretty good. Still too wet for me to mow the yard, and it's starting to look like something Tarzan would want a machete to be able to walk through, but
Well, it's been raining here since about 10 o'clock this morning.
It's been raining here since about Wednesday.
We got a little bit of rain today. We got some early, about 10 o'clock, and then we got some right around 2 or 3. That was a pretty good one. The one around 10 wasn't much. The one around 2 or 3 was pretty good, and it's been sprinkling on and off since then.
And J-Fest was tonight. They had their fireworks. I just had to walk next door to watch it. But the thing was, the clouds were so low that fireworks were going off inside the clouds.
That could be either a good or a bad thing.
Well, I heard they had a downpour right after the fireworks. Blew all the water out of the clouds.
Yeah, some of the folks that used to travel around as advertising themselves as rainmakers would just fire off a cannon into the clouds, hoping that the concussion would condense a few. And some of them actually loaded the cannon with silver nitrate to give the water something to condense around, a particulate of some kind. Oh God, I sound like I'm so erudite. No. Just watched a bunch of old movies.
And speaking of movies, I need people to start sending me a list of good 50s horror movies, sci-fi horror movies.
I offered to bring the hard drive.
Well, the problem is I got to have it all set up and in the machine at least a week before the show.
Well, yeah, you'd have to make up a playlist or copy them out of the hard drive into your hard drive. I don't know. I don't even know what all I've got. I mean, it's a 10 gigabyte drive.
Right now, I've got assignment Assignment Outer Space, the theatrical Buck Rogers in the 25th Century,
That's a good cut.
Buck Rogers, the Planet of the Outlaws.
Oh, wait a minute. That's the Buster Crab one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Captain Zero, Blackbeard the Pirate, The Day the Earth Stood Still,
That's always a good one.
Earth versus the Flying Saucers,
That's definitely a good one.
Mutiny in Outer Space. Oh no, Invasion of the Body Snatchers didn't load. Didn't load properly.
Which
the black
one?
and white?
Yeah.
Yep. You're going to have to reload that one.
Yep,
That's one of the better ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Terror from Beyond Space.
Mm-hmm.
The Evil Brain from Outer Space. Land 9 from Outer Space.
That's always a good one.
Your stupid minds, your stupid minds.
Yeah. Rocket Ship XM.
Oh, yeah. George Powell. Yeah.
Yeah, Lloyd Bridges and Osa Masson. The Giant Claw.
Oh, yeah. I know that one really well. Disappointing monster, but good suspense.
The Phantom Planet.
Phantom Planet. Rocky Jones Space Ranger?
I don't know. The Phantom Creeps.
I know I've seen that. I can't remember it, but I know I've seen it.
What
And
about the Phantom
Adventures.
Menace?
What, no Forbidden Planet?
Oh, did I miss that one? Yes, Forbidden Planet.
War of the Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
George Powell, yeah. Yeah. Please don't ever watch the one with Tom Cruise.
It's not bad. It's not good.
It's not good. No, it's not bad. It's modern day.
If you don't know the true
story.
goodness of War of the Worlds, it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever enjoyed the Fraser Thomas weekend masterpiece, old Orson Welles.
Yes, the audio, yeah.
Well, he was also in the. Thought he was in the movie that I watched.
They could have borrowed audio clips, but I don't know. He might have actually acted in one. I'm not well up on Orson's entire videography. Now there was a crew in England that was making a historically accurate War of the Worlds.
Yes, I don't know what happened with it. I haven't seen
It ran on BBC America.
And it was a pre-World War One.
Yeah, it was basically a costume drama, late 1800s, early 1900s. And I've never seen it. I wish him luck because that's the way it should be done. Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. The stage play is always good.
Oh, I just found a classic that was probably only showed once. The Night That Panicked America.
Oh, I remember that. That was a CBS.
I don't remember that.
It was a made-for-TV movie, and it was about the Orson Welles radio show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
And really, if you ever saw the movie The Fog, or no,
Yeah.
The Mist. I'm sorry.
The Mist. Yeah.
The last one they did, the guy drives out and they run out of gas and they're surrounded by the fog and they hear the monsters closing in. He's got the 38 and He's got 4 people in the car. He's only got 3 bullets left.
That so pissed me off.
So he shoots the 2 people in the back, and then shoots his son, then shoots the 2 people in the back, or that are in the back seat of the car. And then the army shows up to save the day. And, I mean, literally, what he thought was monsters coming out of the mist was the army showing up to kill all the monsters. If he had waited 5 minutes, everybody would have been okay.
Yeah, really. Wait till the monsters are trying to open the car doors.
But that made-for-TV movie about Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, this one guy panics, takes his whole family, gets in the car and tries to drive away. And apparently, for some reason, they couldn't get out of town. I don't know, his car broke down, ran out of gas, something like that. And he pulls out a pistol. And he can see these Martians coming down the street toward his car in the lights. So he's getting ready to shoot his whole family so the Martians won't get him. And it turns out it's a bunch of teenagers trick-or-treating in costumes. It's still Halloween night. And when you and they as they come by, they smack on the car like, "Happy Halloween, Happy Halloween." And he almost shot his family over it. It was,
Mama told me her daddy ran out in the yard with a pistol, waiting on the Martians to show up in La Follette, Tennessee. I'm going, that's not a real high priority target for Martians.
There was a military academy here in Chattanooga, and they actually woke up the entire student body and had them draw rifles from the arms room, and were passing out ammunition.
Live ammo.
Yes, ball ammo.
Yeah, my grandfather was telling me about people shooting any water tower in Chattanooga.
Mm.
That's also that movie, the night that changed the world. There were a bunch of guys. They went out. They lived near Grover's Mill in New Jersey, so they went out looking for the
went
Martians.
out and started shooting water towers.
And there's a great scene in it where they come around this one tree, and the guy's got the big flashlight, old timey flashlight. Turns around and goes, "There's one!" Boom, 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 and it's this water tower getting shot to pieces.
Look, it's bleeding. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Oh Lord! And there's always that that tie-in to Buckaroo Banzai. If you know Buckaroo Banzai, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, you missed out on a wonderful campy movie.
Hey, it's not my planet, Monkey Boy.
You cleaned that up quite a bit.
Well, it ain't midnight yet. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is a
I'm not
War of the
complaining.
Worlds TV version from 1988.
Oh yeah, yep. That one.
Interesting.
That one was. I watched a few episodes of it. It was.
Now, if I remember correctly, that's the one where it turns out the Martians really did invade Earth, and the government used the Orson Welles radio show to do mass hypnosis and convince the American people that it hadn't really happened.
They were saying that it's a radio show. It didn't really happen. It wasn't really mass hypnosis. It was these people were fooled. Nothing really happened. Blah blah blah.
And they went out and found all the Martian spacecraft and the dead Martians and hid them like at Area 51.
They hid them somewhere near a toxic waste disposal facility
In New Jersey.
And the toxic waste revived them.
Yep.
And then in later seasons, they were able to turn into people.
Yeah, they managed to, somehow or another, they genetically altered the Martians into human beings, which Invasion of the Body Snatchers, eh?
More like the old series, The Invaders. It was a mix between classic War of the Worlds and the Quinn Martin Productions, The Invaders. The thing is, it seemed like they were borrowing their scripts from the trash cans of the series V.
Hey, there's one for you, Joe.
Please,
Yeah.
God, no.
But it had such a great cast.
Well, yeah,
Tarantula.
I withdraw my objection. A lot of people actually liked V.
Something I was watching the other day just because it was so damn funny. Night of the Lupus.
Oh, if you can find a
Or
good,
Night of the Lepus, excuse me.
okay, yeah, now I know the one you're talking about. Now what was the one I was talking about? Killers from Space.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
No, Killers from Space. It was one of those with it's either Peter Graves. Yeah, it was Peter Graves. Let's see. Invasion of the Saucer People. Was that the one
I
where
liked the
they
80s V. The 2000s V, I wasn't much of a fan.
So what was the one I was thinking of?
Killers from Space, 1954, Peter Graves.
if you can find a good conversion of that, because they put out a bunch of really cheap videotapes converted from the original back in the late 90s, and the quality of I mean, it was just absolutely unwatchable because the video kept skipping and phasing out, and it's like they went ahead and recorded it and didn't bother with any kind of cancellation for the copyright protection. So
Hey,
every
Jeff.
once in a while, the whole
Hey,
picture
Jeff.
would.
Critters 2.
I thought he was looking for 50s horror.
Yeah, I'm looking for 50s.
Oh, The Blob.
The 1960
Yeah, I've got the
Time
Blob.
Machine. It's
Oh, what's the Frankenstein from outer space one? About the astronaut went up, got irradiated, and came back and turned into a mutant.
Quartermass.
Is that it? No.
That's one
The
of them.
Quartermass series?
Yeah, one of them.
Oh, that was a good one. What's the one with they found the alien spacecraft under the London Metro tube?
That was Quartermass 2. That was 50 million years to Earth or something like that.
There's Zach.
I
Hey,
sent him
Zach.
Zach,
Zach.
I sent him a link, by the way.
Tarantula 1955. Then
Them.
1954.
Them
Hey.
I always did like.
You gotta
yes.
do them. 50s classic sci-fi horror. That's just
Yeah.
Hey, there's actually a sci-fi writer tie-in to them.
Email me a link to at HallowCon@gmail.com. Or just email me a list of movies. Now, what's the one about the ants? I remember the giant ant.
That's them.
Okay.
Yeah, that one that actually ties into H. Beam Piper. He was at a sci-fi convention and they showed them, and he left in the middle of it, and somebody else that was writing an article goes, "Hey, can you believe this crazy sci-fi stuff?" And H. Beam Piper just looked at him and goes, "I write the shit." He did not like that because, radiation, giant insects, ignored the fact that once they got that big, they couldn't breathe.
Hey Joe, the
Yeah.
original Godzilla.
Yes.
The Japanese version, I actually
Raymond Burr.
have that. Oh no, that was the American release of the original.
Yeah, well, it was the same movie. They just added Raymond Burr.
Yeah.
To,
Yeah. I've got Godzilla movies out the wazoo, believe me. I'm going to have to mail Joe Dog a Well, can't put them on thumb drives. I don't have a thumb drive big enough. Oh. And I can't show up a week ahead of time with the 10 gig hard drive to let you copy shit.
I like to actually have all the movies done by August.
I tell you what, if I can remember, I will bring the big hard drive, and you can copy stuff out for next year.
I don't know if you can get it, Joe, but Disney's The Black Hole.
Ah,
Now that's one I do not have, and that's a
Now-
very good one, even though it's campy as all get out.
believe it or not, Forbidden Planet is a Disney movie. Disney owns it.
That makes
Really?
Anne Francis a Disney princess. All right.
Wait a minute. Would that make Robbie the Robot a Disney princess?
No, that make him a Disney prince.
No, wait a minute. You're assuming his gender.
I'm just going by the voice.
Oh, is that the Adam Woog version of Godzilla? No. That's-
Wouldn't think so.
There's a
Pa-ping.
blue. There's a Zach. Is Zach back in Canada, or are you still down in Florida?
I'm setting up the U.S. studio,
Ah,
so still in Florida. But figured I'd jump on and say hello. I only got like 10 minutes because I have to be up at like 4 in the morning. So
oh, to get ready for Axiom.
yeah, I have to be on a bus at 7 to head to the press site to go out to the pad before things get all locked down. So exciting, but also ridiculously early in the morning. And the launch is until like 5:45, so I get to be at the press site all day. Yay!
Give me coffee or die.
There's no coffee maker at the press site.
You know, I actually have a little 1-cup portable coffee maker that makes coffee into your coffee mug.
I'll have to
Just
find it and send it to you. When I was there for Artemis 1, some lady had done this before back in Shuttle, and she didn't bring a 1-cup coffee maker. She brought a full-on 12-cup coffee maker, pot, everything, set it up on the table in the press room, and had cups, and was selling coffee to people in the press room because she made the entire place. She brought a hand grinder to fresh grind the beans. 5 in the morning, no one's had coffee, the rocket's leaking, and it smells like fresh beans. And it was like,
I've got my 12-cup Mr. Coffee right underneath that 1-cup coffee maker. And downstairs, I've got my camping kit. I've actually got a couple of the old-fashioned percolator coffee makers and a propane
Oh, yes.
stove.
I've got a couple of those. I've actually got one with the glass bulb on top. Like I used to see being used in my youth in Tennessee. Brings back memories. Ooh, JFG coffee in a stovetop percolator.
KFG
Oof.
is good coffee. My
Yes,
favorite
it
right now is Folgers has this stuff called Black Silk.
Okay.
It don't cost much, and it's very dark, smooth coffee.
Yep. I kind of had a bad experience with Folgers Instant one time. Hello, Keisha.
Oh, not instant. This is
No,
real
I
coffee.
know.
everybody have a bad experience with any instant coffee the first time.
Well, we were in Panama City and bought a little bitty jar of Folgers Instant. Opened it up and it was molded inside the jar. Had never been opened before.
Yeah,
But
they will absorb moisture if they leak even the least little bit. And
yeah, and
the worst ones,
my
Are they
friend and I
MRE?
threw that one out and had to depend on gas station coffee.
they used to have the little paper and foil packages of Taster's Choice in the MREs.
Mhm.
And occasionally, you always shook it to hear if you could hear it shaking. If you
If
shook
it
it
didn't
and you didn't hear
shake.
anything, there would be like this paste inside of it that was
Mhm.
where the moisture had gotten in somehow.
Mhm.
Then they started putting in those little plastic tubes about the size of your pinky finger, a little bit longer. But and that tended to solve the problem. I always wondered about that. They had all those dehydrated foods in there, and they always seem to pick up water somehow. They had some really good. When I first joined the Army, they had dehydrated strawberries, and everybody wanted those. They were great. Dehydrated peaches. I like those better than strawberries, actually. And the one thing that I really miss, dehydrated ketchup. Sounds weird, I know, but it was you open it up, you add a little bit of water to the foil package, stir it up, and you had ketchup. Which, if you ever eat Army food, Tabasco sauce and ketchup are like. So
I would require horseradish and mustard too.
I've always wondered why they didn't put dehydrated mustard in some of the things. Because especially, they used to have ham slices.
Yeah.
That was one of the better MREs. Especially if you could get the MRE bread.
Now, we used to have 100-acre farm out near here the first time we moved to Georgia.
Did you have a Winnie the Pooh?
And it was an Army training ground for World War II, I do believe. They had K-rations scattered on the ground all over the property. Still see, Dad would find some, open it up, and go, damn, cheese is still good, but the crackers are kind of
Nobody liked
drawn
K-Rations.
damp. Hey, Daddy grew up during the Great Depression. If it didn't have mold on it, it was okay. You know?
You had your C rations, which were okay. K rations were the emergency rations.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really eat them unless you had to. What is it? 15 minutes?
It's almost the end of the show.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
But wait, we just got started.
Zach, in case you don't know,
Something about
Bob
horseradish,
usually shows
and I
up
was
in the last 15 minutes of the show. So her showing up
right
this
off
week.
last.
So they launched. I saw where they launched a Star Week last week. That
Don't
had
give
6
Elon any
something
ideas.
Satellites. Yeah.
Star Week.
Star Week sounds like a great magazine. Star Week. Actually, I think that is a magazine. Now that I think about it, I think it's in Hollywood. It has something to do with stars.
Is Starlogs? No, Starlogs probably out of business by now.
Because I heard something about horseradish, so I had to come on and ask you guys about the beef. Which one was your favorite?
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the whole question.
You were commenting about horseradish, so I
Yeah.
had to come on and ask which was your favorite beaver sauce.
Makes
no,
its own sauce when you
I
add
have
water.
actually not tried any of those yet.
Sure, I looked over and saw this and went, oh, heck no. Oh, heck no.
I make my own horseradish sauce because they never make it quite.
Robust enough.
That might be a good word for it. It's just like once you've had sauerkraut in Germany, you can't stand the American stuff anymore. It's too sweet. Sauerkraut is 3/4 shredded cabbage and 1/4 of another root vegetable that's been shredded and added to it. Germans use turnips in their sauerkraut. Americans tend to use carrots.
I have never seen any red sauerkraut.
by the time it ferments, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't turn.
Oh, ferments. Okay, now we're talking.
And all that sugar in it, it's just like it's like sour. It's like somebody made kid sauerkraut for Halloween.
Yeah, I have.
Drops some sauerkraut in some kid's Halloween bag.
I have bought sauerkraut that was entirely too sweet. It's like they forget it's supposed to have vinegar, you know?
No, actually, sauerkraut is not supposed to have vinegar.
Well, it tastes like it does.
That's something they usually add as a preservative. And you can actually flavor. That is one of the flavorings you can add to sauerkraut. But there are other things. What's it? Anise.
Oh yeah.
Am I pronouncing that correctly? Anise.
Yeah, that's the correct pronunciation. Although
seed.
licorice flavored sauerkraut, I don't think I could enjoy quite as well. I do like licorice, but
you don't add much. Now I add white wine vinegar to mine, which gives it a really nice flavor.
Have you tried malt vinegar?
No, I don't know why. I just haven't.
We buy an awful lot of malt vinegar because that is the traditional thing to put on fish and chips.
You're right. We have some in the fridge.
That's
British flag on the front.
Yeah, London Pub. That's one of the best brands. I am inordinately fond of that. I mean, seriously, I will put that in just a spoonful in a pot of soup or a beef stew or something like that, rather than using the old standard apple cider vinegar, because it's got just a
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
No,
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcester sauce.
Hey Zach, do they have fish and chips in Canada?
Yes.
Okay.
Are they good?
Frozen and come in a cardboard box.
Oh.
So they're not good.
No. I mean, if you're on the ocean, yeah, they're not terrible, but for most of the country, no. I mean, you can make them at home, but
Yeah, my wife always does. I mean, we don't go someplace for fish and chips.
Yeah, but you're close to the coast. You should get good fish.
I have yet to have fish since I got to Florida. It's been a month. Well, month minus a
that guy's catalytic converter.
Guess what I just found, guys?
Uh-oh.
Are we scared to ask?
I found them.
Ooh,
Good.
did you get a good one, or do you know?
I won't know until.
Won't know until the download is complete.
Yep.
Hey Zach, have you ever seen the old 1950s movie Them?
No, if a movie wasn't made with a 9 or a 0 or a 1, I probably don't watch it.
Oh no, it's a classic black and white horror movie. Mutant ants. Radioactive mutant ants.
I was upset with how much black and white there was in Casino Royale. So
Which Casino Royale? There's
There's 3 Casino Royales.
The recent one.
Okay.
The only good one was the original. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the third one was my introduction to Bond. So
Wait a minute, Dan. The first one was the one where James Bond was an American.
Oh yes, you're talking about the TV.
And fortunately, that travesty never saw the light of day.
I've got a copy.
Yeah, but they did a.
It was actually okay, but it took quite a few liberties. I'm talking about the one with Peter Sellers.
No, that's Peter Sellers, David Niven, Woody Allen,
yes,
Ursula Andrews.
Oof. Hubba.
Very hubba.
A little more Bubba.
Yes. Strangely enough, one of the movies I just got finished watching was The Blue Max with George Papard and Ursula Andrews and
Oh wow, yeah,
David Mason.
that was very good. It's not sci-fi, Joe.
No, it's not. World War One fighter plane.
Mm-hmm. Oh, too bad Great Race isn't science fiction.
That's one of the good ones.
Yes, it was, and that and Magnificent Men and Their Flying Machines. Same period, same
I hate to say
formula.
this.
But
There's one movie I have not seen in that genre, and that is Hell's Angels, the Howard Hughes film.
oh, what time period was that?
1920s or 30s. black and white.
Okay. Okay.
At one time, Howard Hughes owned the largest air force on the planet just to make that movie.
Yeah, but that was just one plane.
No, it was not just one plane.
It was the biggest damn plane on the planet.
No, he literally went and bought all these airplanes just to film the movie. And if you ever saw that movie, The Aviator, where it shows him making the movie,
Uh-huh.
it's curious. It's literally he's running an army, well, an air force. But,
Is that the one with Leonardo DiCaprio?
yes, he did that role pretty good.
He can do some. He can do some things.
You know, one role I would have loved to have seen Leonardo DiCaprio do, because he could do it better than anyone else. George Patton.
Okay, you're going to have to convince me on that one. I can kind of see it, but
Well, here's the problem: you're all spoiled
with George C. Scott.
by George C. Scott. If you've ever seen any of the documentary footage on George Patton giving a speech, everybody thinks George C. Scott. George Patton used to talk like this in Pan Atlantic, and he used to give all his goddamn speeches to all the goddamn troops just like that. George C. Scott did a great job, but he just did not pull off the voice.
Yeah, his voice was 2 octaves lower, for one thing.
I could see DiCaprio
Leonardo
playing.
DiCaprio could pull off that voice and make it sound right. Okay.
I'll tell you somebody that he should do is MacArthur.
Who?
DiCaprio.
What's his name? Gregory Peck did a pretty decent job portraying MacArthur, except he was too young. Most of that. Somebody that I thought would have been good at MacArthur would have been Tom Selleck, and he'd probably do it now, Tom Selleck. But he couldn't do the younger MacArthur, but he'd probably do the older MacArthur, which he'd have to show. He'd hate that.
Selleck's got a whole lot more range than people give him credit for.
If you ever saw the movie Ike, Countdown to D-Day, did a very good job. But again, a lot of the actors they had didn't really portray the people that they were supposed to portray.
Okay, who's stapling shit in the background?
I've been hearing it too. It sounds like an excess mouse clicking.
Does it sound like this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody
Smells
needs to help.
Multitasking.
Oh.
Was it excess mouse clicking? God, I can't talk.
He's playing Diablo.
Ooh.
That man's playing Galaxian right there.
Galaga, yeah.
Oh.
No, if I was playing Diablo, you'd hear all the fans from my chill pad, my laptop up as high as they can go as well.
I have worn out 3 mice playing Diablo. Okay. Because that's how you move in the game and attack stuff, is just click.
I've worn out 12 writing web pages. I mean, seriously.
Oh, Dan, I now have Kronos and Invaders from Mars
Which version, black and white or 70s?
They're both good, but
yeah, they're both good.
because what was funny was the kid from the original black and white one played the cop in the later color one.
This is the 1957 version.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Robinson Crusoe on Mars.
Oh, good Lord, I haven't seen that in years. Adam West.
Yep.
Who?
Which version?
Who?
I assume he's talking about Invaders from Mars.
Invaders from Mars.
The black and white one, I can't remember the kid's name, but in the color one, the one with Raquel Welch,
Well worth you seeing in color then.
yeah, the color one, he played the cop, the older cop with the mustache. He was the one that was real nice to the kid.
No, Donna, nobody's gonna smack Dawn.
Let's see.
Oh, which Diablo? That's what Chris
Oh,
wants to know.
Diablo 2.
Okay.
I can't find a copy of the original Diablo.
Okay, what else did you find, Joe?
I misworked.
Of course, there's them.
Pitching little bastard.
Night of the Living Dead. That's our Saturday night staple.
Yeah.
That's our Saturday night midnight movie.
Wait a minute. Sci-fi horror movies. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's going to be run in the main room
Okay.
at midnight on Saturday.
What's the other part of the double feature picture show in the back row by RKO?
Well, I'm going to make sure that
Dan, Anne Francis stars in Forbidden Planet.
Yes, I know.
That should be the second feature.
and Chris is going to roll over in the floor laughing. Flesh Gordon will not be put on my hard drive computer anywhere because
That's
that
okay.
one
That's okay. They borrowed the sets from Doctor Who in the 60s, so
no, 1 year at HallowCon before I took over, somebody put that on repeat in the morning.
sorry if I
Somebody.
just made anybody lose their hearing. Oh,
Well,
dear.
I'm gonna bow out, y'all, because I gotta get up in like 4 hours. So
All right.
No, Zach, you
uh,
don't have to leave. We're not going to play Flesh Gordon.
And Zach, remember,
you've been speaking Spanish for about 10 minutes.
hey, Zach, just remember, if you see a flash, duck and cover.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, this one's fine. If I see Starship tried to kill me, then the Hall of Fame tried to kill me. What, 3 times in a month? I think I'm covered.
Hey, Zach, Army surplus stores in the United States, you can get gas masks. Okay, just saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure I get through security with one of those. They already think I'm a terrorist.
Well, you're from Canada. Everybody from Canada is a terrorist. Or,
Well, I'll bring maple syrup with me and pour that on the rocket.
yeah, there you go.
Just don't bring a pet goose and you'll be all right.
Bring a
No,
pet
they
goose,
fly
run
down here by
30 people
themselves.
I know, but
Hey,
they're evil.
most Americans in the southern United States are scared to death of Canadian geese.
They're
It's
not
it's like
that
an
bad.
AR-15. You
So
scare the
are
hell out of
most
everybody
people
that's
in England.
Cobra chickens.
Cobra
They're scared
chickens,
of- They're
yes.
scared of geese, yet they hug alligators and snakes.
Okay. I have
Okay,
seen
from
people.
the Midwest, and we're scared of Canadian.
I have seen people try to pet bears in Canada. Okay.
Yes,
I have never seen anyone try to pet a Canadian goose. Okay. That's
no, because the goose doesn't want to be pet.
No, but they're good eating.
They probably make a good hat.
actually, strangely enough, there were some Canadian geese that liked me at that duck pond up there at the over there by Joe's house. The
Red Bank.
Red Bank, that Memorial Gardens or whatever.
Would you believe that every time they show up, the cemetery calls TWRA to come get them?
Yes, I would believe that, because eventually somebody, you know what happened? A bunch of dogs got loose and killed a bunch of ducks at the duck pond, and it was terrible. Just all these wounded ducks and stuff, wild dogs, or the pack of pets that got loose, tried to kill everything. So they brought in 4 Canadian geese. They didn't have a problem with dogs, people, cars. It chased down and ran off their backhoe operator while he was trying to go out and dig a grave. Yeah. I would show up with an old bag of colonial bread. They love the hell out of me. They just sit there and eat their bread right out of your hand, just like all the other ducks.
Now show up without the bread, Nick.
I used to walk right by there every day going to school. They didn't bother me a bit. Except occasionally if they'd see me and honk, and I'd say, I don't have any bread, and they'd like go back to whatever they were doing. I did take all my pizza crust. I didn't like eating pizza crust back in those days because everything was Domino's back then. And
you'd been better off eating the box.
Well, no, Domino's wasn't bad. I mean, but back then we had Pizza Hut. And
yeah.
And well, of course, when I was younger, we had Shakey's and Darris's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And of course, we had Godfather's too, but we could never,
Oh yeah.
Over Godfather's.
We had one of those in Athens. I don't know if it's still in business or not.
There are a few running around. We went on vacation up near Cookeville, Tennessee. Wyndham has this huge golf resort up there, so we went up there to hang out, and just have swimming pools and all sorts of stuff. We're driving up there, and I drive past this gas station up there, and you know how gas stations will sometimes have like a Taco Bell or Sonic in the gas station. This one had a Godfather's Pizza. I ate there twice.
There's a Huck here in town that has a Godfather's in it. Huck gas.
We used to have 4 of them here in Chattanooga, if I remember correct. 3 or 4, I can't remember. We had 5 of them.
We had 5 of them. My sister was a manager of East Ridge. Mr. T's Pizza.
Never heard of that one.
Mr. T's Pizza is an offshoot of the Domino's. That was Tyler Gray.
Okay.
But did I ever tell you the story about the guy eating one of the peppers out of the shaky thing at Darris? He, shook out one of those flakes. He popped them in his mouth. Realized that they were a little spicy. Well, Mr. Darris walks by. He goes, "Are you all right?" And he goes, "I need some water." He goes, "What's wrong?" He said, "I ate some of those little pepper things out of there and set me on fire. It's burning." Mr. Darris looked at him and said, "Dan fool, you need to burn." Walked away from the kitchen.
Okay, Darris's.
You get what you pay for.
You've heard the term mom and pop store. Mm-hmm. Darris's was literally Mr. and Mrs. Darris ran a restaurant out of their house, and it was famous for authentic Italian food. Just great stuff. And it was to give you an example. If you wanted to go eat there, you had to call them. So, "Y'all going to be open today?" They go, "Well, we weren't going to. How many people you got?" "Oh, we got friends from out of town. There's going to be 8 of us plus the kids." I said, "Oh, bring them kids on over."
Really?
Oh,
now, up in Tiftonia, did you hear about the French restaurant?
Mm-mm.
If you head out Browns Ferry Road, it ends in a cul-de-sac. You have to schedule ahead, and it was a double wide. The guy was a political refugee from France here in the United States. 2 things you had to bring: $70 a person and a bottle of wine.
Did
And
you
he
get to
would-
drink the wine, or was the wine a bribe to get him to cook?
No, he would cook. Only problem is, every time your glass was empty, he'd fill his too.
Oh, okay. Bottle
by
of
the
wine per
end-
person.
And by the end of the night, he was so sloshed that you just sort of left when you felt like it. But he'd only serve 2 tables a night. 2 tables of like 6. It was different.
No, we had a place down here called Da Vinci's Pizza. And it was the most popular pizza joint in the entire county. And it was deep dish, New York style. No, not New York. It was deep dish pizza. I forget whether that's Chicago or New York. That's beside the point.
Chicago.
It was the best pizza you had ever. I mean, you're talking a pizza 1.5 inches thick, loaded down, and it was thin crust. It was just. Whew. And
Hey, Rick, do you think we can do that at the same time again? Chicago.
The entire
I doubt it.
the entire place that was the seating area was no wider than a single wide trailer and about half as long. So if you didn't get there early, knowing college students, you didn't get in the door. And basically, you did not order a pitcher of beer or mugs or whatever. You went in, you ordered your pizza, and you got a pitcher of sangria. That pitcher of sangria was never allowed to empty.
Dan, it was a small place inside, but how big was the parking lot?
Enough.
We lost Rich. Last man standing joke from a few weeks back.
Bigger than the Millage Avenue taco stand, I'll tell you that. I want to know how the one on up next to the university stays in business, because the parking lot is like 3 meters, and I'm not talking measurement, I mean parking meters in front of the store. Used to be a Mellow Mushroom, and I would walk up there for my morning classes, my break in between morning classes, and have a if the guy had come in that day, I would have a full-on mushroom and everything omelet. And they had one guy that would make omelets, and if he was not scheduled to work that day, they did not serve omelets. And I figured out his schedule, and I went. And I'm talking, the 12-inch diameter cast iron frying pans. Imagine an omelet made in that. This would feed a poor skinny farm boy for 2 days, except I ate every bite of it right then. And did not have to have lunch, and Mama was really disappointed when I wasn't that hungry for dinner when I got home from school. Oh Lord, that was a good omelet, I swear. If a restaurant would come out with something like that size, they'd make a fortune. They'd spend a fortune on takeaway boxes, but they'd make a fortune in people coming in and going, I want one of them omelets.
I miss pan pizzas.
Yeah, I do too. Da Vinci's has been out of business for about 40 years now. About 15 years after I got out of college, they kind of folded. I don't know why.
I think we had a Da Vinci's for a while. I was in the military though when it popped out. I never actually got to eat there.
I didn't know that it was a chain. It might not have been. It might have been just somebody using the same name. I don't know. Could have been a chain. I don't know.
We
But
get
it was really
we
good.
get a lot of
pizza.
these what I call yuppie pizza places. The pizza's too expensive and the beer sucks. So
In Germany?
no, in Chattanooga.
Oh, okay. I'm going. How can the beer suck in Germany?
Oh, I don't. Yeah. Buy it at the PX.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
You can find bad beer anywhere you go. There's always going to be someone that can screw shit up.
PBR, yes.
Hey, PBR ain't bad.
I know, but it's the first brand that came to mind.
It ain't good
Schaefer's, on
either.
the other hand.
Oh, Schaefer's? That's not beer. That's just carbonated water.
They used to actually make PBR here, and now a friend of mine, cousin, owns the 33 room, which is basically an homage to everything. Apparently, it burned down way before I got here.
There's a lot of places in Chattanooga that have this. They'll make a great pizza, but they charge too much for it. And then they'll serve, and then all their beers are IPAs.
Oh God.
And I don't know what it is about IPAs, but they always remind whatever they're using as their botanicals in the beer tastes like pine cones.
They always have a chemical taste to them, don't they? There's a lot of places around here that do their own microbrewery IPAs, and I'm going, I wish you the best of luck, but I'm going to stick to beer-flavored beer, thank you.
I always got the impression that IPAs are actually beers that failed, and they had to try and get rid of it somehow, so they gave it a clever name, and tried to convince you it's artistic.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry it took so long.
It's all right.
The dogs ate at Cafe Bacalita.
Oh.
So I had a little mess to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Rich is looking like, what the hell is that?
I'm guessing they were going for Kitty Krispies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I don't even speak Spanish, and I understood that one.
That was French.
Well, I took French in college, but I didn't know that I remembered any of it.
No wonder it sounded like I surrender.
For sale, one rifle, never used, dropped once. I really shouldn't say that. I've still got months to go before my retirement from a French-owned company. Every time they come out with some new Nazi policy, I just kind of look around and go, y'all do remember the guillotines were a thing, right? Do you remember why? Nobody gets the joke. They all think I'm threatening them for some reason.
I need to sit down one day and make some good pizzas. We've got that. I have not used our charcoal grill. We got one of those big Kamado grills. I haven't used it in at least a year.
Yeah. I went out and bought the makings for hamburgers today, and I hope Lindsay doesn't think that I'm going to fire up the grill and stand out in the rain. But
That is one thing I'll give George Foreman. He makes a nice hamburger press.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just going to use a frying pan, like Mama did. Hopefully, shrinkage is not going to be a problem.
That is the one thing I really like about the George Foreman. They don't shrink up too much.
I've actually got one somewhere, but I don't know where it's been stored. It's been.
The only problem
I believe that Lindsay and I were actually married the last time that I used it. It might have been before we ever got together.
The one
I'm
problem
not
with the
sure.
George Foremans are they're hard to clean up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And God help you if you don't remember the little grease trap thing to slide under
Oh yes, I learned that one the hard way.
Oh,
We had grease from one end of the counter to the other.
mhm, and off into the floor.
Well, luckily we had these little lips that doesn't let it
I like
run
those
off.
kind of counters. Yeah.
Let there be lips. Sorry, Rocky Horror fan. I can't help but quoting. Too many brain cells.
Whatever happened to Saturday night?
Yeah, you can impress me if you can sing the rest of it, and not skip any words.
I never had to play Eddie.
Meatloaf.
They usually wanted me to play the criminologist.
Mm,
Now I got the beard for it.
yeah.
That's who I used to play as well as criminologist.
I was always just the member.
I was sitting there, and they were trying to find somebody to play Eddie, and they said, "We need somebody that can play saxophone." I used to play saxophone in high school, and I just kept my fucking mouth shut.
Smart man.
No.
Oh.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to run down the hall for a minute. Well, actually, I'm going to run all the way downstairs to the refrigerator.
Okay. Cheers.
Have you been drinking tonight, Rich?
No.
Oh. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Look at the picture.
Okay.
Looks normal to me.
Oh, look at here. Put the glasses back on. That even makes it worse.
No, yeah, I can see the fun still.
Just close one eye. It'll look all right.
I went to Woman's Lifestyle Show thing, and they had put the beer goggles on you. How it'd be to, like, supposedly that you're drunk, and you had to walk down this line, and I walked down the line perfect, and the lady's like, I don't even know how to say. She goes, I don't know how to respond to this because you should have fallen over. Apparently, I'm a good drunk person.
No, that's going to be the drunk test at HallowCon this year.
So
If
in
that
a
girl
health class, go ahead, sir.
If we're going to show pictures of that girl when we think somebody's too drunk. If they can see her perfectly, they're going to their room.
But
that's
in a
not
health-
fair.
in a health
What?
class,
That's
They-
not fair. I'm dyslexic. I see it perfectly anyway.
in a health class, they made Crow and her classmates, well, their classmates, sorry, put on beer goggles and then drive this little remote control car around. They drove better, they being Crow, my child, drove better with the beer goggles on than without the beer goggles on.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that was kind of like walking down this line. They're just like, that you're no. And I'm like, does this mean I can drive drunk? And they're like, no.
But in
Well,
Crow's defense, she is legally
physically, but
blind in one eye.
not legally.
Would you say, Rich?
Crow is legally blind in one eye. In fact, one eye, they're almost completely blind. They can see a little bit like here. They can see a little bit here, but anything from like here through here is just black in that eye.
So they're kind of used to having to adjust their vision for what they're.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I'm trying to say is I think because my eyes are so bad that I'm just used to going. I can't see anyways. I might have my glasses on, so you kind of learn how to shoot for the middle and hope for the best.
It's like the old saw, when you're seeing double, close one eye. If you only have the one to start with, you're not going to be seeing double. That's a hardware thing in your brain trying to integrate the two signals from the two different sensory organs. So if you've only got the one that you depend on, you Chris. The thing is,
We'll find it.
given my lifestyle, how is anybody going to ever tell if I'm sober? Not how is anybody ever going to tell if I'm drunk? How is anybody going to tell if I ever sobered up?
Have you ever sobered up?
Once. It was the worst hour of my life. I was 12. I swore never to do that again.
Hello, Carrie.
I'm responsible enough not to drive, but no. Oh yeah, Chris can tell when I'm sloshed. Yeah, I try and pour more Statesman out of an empty bottle. That's when you can tell I'm sloshed.
No, you poured some in there.
So when I try and fill up somebody else's glass.
So you're not sloshed when you're trying to suck up the Kraken?
I have no memory of that. Seriously, I really have no memory of that.
Lick the Kraken. He was trying to lick the Kraken.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I don't remember it either, remember? Did you see that the QuadCon that was in Davenport today? They had a fire at the building, and that would be kind of freaky. I'll shut up now.
Save the women and liquor first.
Somehow
I don't think I
I'm not going to put the fire out before you do the licking.
Exactly the way you wanted it to, Dan.
I don't know. I think I've got my priorities in order.
And this is why you guys only allow me to come on for the last 10 minutes generally.
It's not a matter of allow. It's when you've got time.
Okay. I've got this screen behind me on my green screen, and it's from Forbidden Planet.
Forbidden Planet, yes.
And if it expands all the way out, the word up here says amazing, but I love the fact that it condensed down and it says zing. See, that's no, take it back. Zing.
Bazinga.
Bazinga.
Yes, Donna, but they didn't understand the pronunciation of the second phrase in that clause. So
What?
Unintentional double entendre.
I may actually have to go see a movie in a movie theater here soon.
God forbid.
Yeah, well, tell me about it. I mean,
Means
they
putting
got
up with
this
the
movie
public.
coming out. It's about a Finnish commando right at the end of World War II called Sisu. SISU. And
Is this the sniper?
cyber? What?
Sniper.
No.
Okay.
It's kind of like John Wick meets Inglorious Bastards. That's the best way to describe it. It's
Okay.
the one I
I'm in.
love. They're trying to find this guy. He's hiding in a minefield, and they see this one Nazi walking through there for a rifle, trying to find him. All of a sudden, you see this. It's like fog and smoke from where the landmines have been going off. You see this anti-tank mine come flying out of the smoke and hit the guy right in his helmet. And there wasn't enough of him left to put in a teacup.
Where's Mac? Hey, Mac, how you
Hi.
doing, sir?
Hey, Mac.
You're not trying to say it was a pink mist, were you?
It wasn't even that. It was like looked like somebody dropped the plate of spaghetti sauce. Let's see here. I will try. Sisu trailer. There we go. I will put. Oh, apparently you can get the full movie in English. Huh.
Well, we appreciate you dropping in, Mac. My coffee wore off too early.
Make some more.
Yes, Mac says it's a spatula job.
I will share this to Stupid O'Clock, the trailer. For
Kiri.
There you go, Rich. That one's for you.
Oh, Lord. Oh. There's inappropriate, and then there's Kiri. We don't need to post that one. We
What?
do not need. We do not need to flash that one on the screen. I'm sorry, Mac.
we would get a copyright strike if I tried to play a trailer here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you would. Instantly.
Even though they're using the trailer to try and advertise their movie, they won't let us play it on our show on YouTube or Stitcher.
Right. Because we're not paying them to play the trailer. There's more gin in this thing than I thought.
You know, these people are going to die, and they're going to be standing at the pearly gates of heaven. St. Peter's going to look at them and say, "I'm sorry, you don't meet our community standards."
You need to go wait over there for 4 days because you're now in.
That reminded me of the video. Richie may have seen him. Shamus. He's the drummer. Does the drummer videos. You're muted.
Quack, 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 quack.
Off the top of my head.
Seamus or Seamus or whatever. He got a copyright strike. And, these people take their copyright strikes very seriously. So he, contacted his, contact through YouTube, requesting the, review and all that. And they looked at it and goes, "Yep, You violated YouTube's term of service. Well, what did I do? You violated YouTube's terms of service. Okay, well, what is it so I can not do it again? You violated YouTube's terms of service. Come to find out, it was one song by some band that YouTube, there is some reference somewhere in the song that he never played, got him the strike of terms of service.
People have lost their ever freaking minds. They have. You know,
I know. They once tried to give us a copyright strike for my music. They once tried to give us a copyright strike for something written in the 1800s.
Oh, the one I love is they gave us a copyright strike for the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Really? Turns out it's a bunch of Iranians that didn't like the Star Spangled Banner. So.
I wonder why.
Well, they'll have to explain it to Allah one day. Blessed be his name. That's one thing I like about these Muslim extremists that claim that Americans are hateful and evil and, American Satan and all sorts of stuff like that. I love to out-Islam them.
I'll tell you what I heard. It was the best description of the Torah, the Bible, the Quran, and the Book of Mormon.
I know exactly what you're going to say. Please do say on.
The Torah, the Jewish people look at it as the first
The history.
First in a trilogy. Second, the Bible is the Christians look at, the first is sort of being canon and the second part being the best part of it. The Muslims look at the first, the Torah as doesn't exist, and the Christians are sort of whatever. And then the Mormons look at it as bad fan fiction.
And the Quran is like the instruction manual for how you were supposed to be living now. So everything else is like history books.
Bless you, Joe.
Be glad you didn't hear that, because I'm Mike's right here now. That would have got some eardrums.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one, so that's sort of weird. I only got one sneeze.
Oh yeah,
There'll be more. Give it time.
That's one of the problems with Islam. Is you've got people that are living their lives according to the tenets of Islam, and they're doing, they're fine. They want to. They're working for their children. They're trying to raise their children right. Good people. Then you got the people that are trying to turn Islam into a murder, death, suicide cult. Okay. They're the crazy people. Okay. They're the ones that are just so easy to shoot down. I mean, you've heard the term ducks in a barrel? Yeah. Well, imagine tossing a stick of dynamite in. Even worse, let the ducks light the fuse on the dynamite, because that's pretty much what they are. Angry Canadian geese with dynamite.
Fact.
And a Zippo.
And a Zippo.
And a death wish.
Angry Canadian geese. That's a little redundant.
Yeah. Dan can back me up on this one because he's read the book too. Elsbreg de Camp's The Ancient Engineers.
Yes.
Okay. Great book. One of the things in it, he talks about how early humans went from hunter-gatherers to agriculturalists and actually started doing livestock and farming, stuff like that. He said the main reason for it, beer. When they figured out that they could cook or basically brew beer by mixing grass seeds with water in a clay jug, they had to wait around for it to ferment to make beer. So instead of going out hunting and gathering, they started basically planting more stuff to make beer and raising the animals right there around where they were producing the beer. And that's what started agriculture and livestock. Strange enough, he says that probably started in ancient Mesopotamia, which is strange because they're now an Islamic country and they don't drink beer.
I miss That was some of the, well, it was warm beer, but it was good beer.
Like you said, you miss Earth.
No, I could hit that one anytime.
I miss Earth. I don't mean all.
Oh, Carrie, I'm sorry your voice went out. Such a pain in the neck. Yes, okay. Another dad joke.
Carrie lost his voice. What will he ever do? No bad dad jokes? Oh, come on.
As long as his fingers work.
He can still type. Yep.
Yeah, but I don't have to look. I don't have to look at the chat screen there. I can actually just completely ignore it, which is bad. Hey, Carrie, did you see my duck joke on Stupid O'Clock? And he'll type it in a minute. I'm just curious if you saw the duck joke, because if you hadn't seen the duck joke. You haven't seen the duck joke. Then I get to tell the duck joke here on Stupid O'Clock.
Tell the duck joke.
A duck walks into this shop and he asks the shopkeeper, he goes, "You got any bread?" The shopkeeper goes, "No." Duck keeps looking at him and goes, "You got any bread?" Duck goes, "No." Or excuse me, shopkeeper goes, "No." Duck looks at him and goes, "You got any bread?" Shopkeeper goes, "No." Duck looks at him and goes, "You got any bread?" And the shopkeeper goes, "No. And if you ask me again, I will nail your beak to the floor." Duck looks at him and goes, "Got any nails?" Shopkeeper goes, "No." He goes, "Got any bread?"
Oh.
Yeah, it's just that is just such a great joke because it's just so stupid.
Suddenly we just lost 17 viewers.
We had 17 viewers? Cool.
We got 6 now.
Hey,
Grats. Don't egg him on.
Hey, why did the police officer arrest the duck?
I don't even want to.
He was selling quack.
He was a quack addict. Okay.
What, Dan?
I'm just glad I didn't have a burrito today. That's all.
3 ropes walk into a bar. They yell at the bartender, says, "Hey, we want 3 beers." The bartender looks at him and goes, "I'm sorry, I don't serve ropes in this bar." He says, "What?" And they're like, "What? What?" He says, "It's just a rule. I can't sell ropes, or I cannot sell alcohol to ropes." "Oh man, let's get out of here if we can't get a beer." And the one rope goes, "Wait a minute, I got an idea." He says, "Tie a knot in me real quick." And the other 2 ropes are like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, tie me into a knot." So they tie him into a knot. He says, "Okay, fray up my ends real quick." So they fray up the ends of the rope. He slouches over to the bar, looks at the bartender, goes, "Hey, I want 3 beers for me and my friend." Bartender look at him and goes, "Are you a rope?" He goes, "Nope, I'm afraid not." Hey, Kiri loves loves bad jokes. I just gave him some great ones.
Hey, if two vegans get into a fight, is it still called a beef?
Say that again. I can barely hear you.
If two vegans get in a fight, is it still called a beef?
You need to go back to that big boom mic you used to have, because whatever you're using now sucks.
I could hear him.
I heard him just fine.
Really?
Are we sure we want him to go back to the better mic with those jokes?
No, but I'm tired of like trying to do this with the computers. It might just be because I've got my fans running, but they're not that damn loud. So.
Oh, come on. You shouldn't be that unkind to your fans. Let them sit down.
How does a mermaid wash its tail? It uses Tide. You heard that one, didn't you?
Barely. I'm telling you, I actually missed the boom mic because that looks cool. Yeah, who was it bought you? Was that Carl bought you that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that was cool. You ever take a shower and suddenly realize that your fingernails have grown?
During the shower?
It's like you take a shower, you come out, and you cannot believe. I don't know if it's just the cuticles shrunk up or what, but it's like you take a shower, you come out, and it's like you look like, Dracula or something. There we go. Sorry about that. Hey, Chris.
Hello.
Hey, Chris.
I keep forgetting he can multitask.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Not now.
The other one was louder.
Yeah. Okay, John, I'm back on the boom mic. Can you hear me now?
No. Barely. Wait a minute. Let me check your mic settings here. No? I'm going to click it back to automatic real quick. Try it now.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I got it maxed up. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Donna. Hey, Carrie.
Way to go, John. You really screwed it up.
Yeah,
I think the problem was on your end, John. We could hear Joe Dog just fine.
Yeah.
Huh.
Y'all missed all my really good comments earlier.
I wonder if,
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh,
Very
excellently. Yes.
Why was there comments being made?
Oh, I made plenty of them earlier. I told John to look up the
Perfect.
Diablo battle chest. It's got Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 in it.
I've got the Diablo 2. I bought it at Walmart before I went to Iraq the last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. I bought it at the PX in Baghdad. Sorry. But it has the manual with it, the cheat manual, or not cheat manual, but how to play the game kind of thing. Pretty cool. And strange enough, I bought two of them. I bought one for me and one for a friend, and then he gave it back. And I'm like, no, you keep it. I don't want to carry it. We were getting ready to ship back to the United States, and everybody had packed everything. So
Mail it to yourself back home.
well, we had already done that. Was the problem?
Oh,
This is like in a tent waiting on the airplane, kind of thing. So we had to sit there for like a week waiting for our chalk to show up. And
Yeah, and in reference to your earlier comments about the guillotine, Dan, I said only there were no Germans involved, and they forgot the revolution.
Mm-hmm. They have indeed.
Yeah, Diablo 4 launches June 6th.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw my comment, Dan, that you were just trying to show Joe that the bottle was empty.
What did I do?
You were talking about trying to pour an empty bottle of Statesman. I said you were just trying to show Joe that it was empty.
Oh, okay. As long as it actually was empty and I didn't pour it like two
No,
shot
you didn't pour
glasses
it out
full
all
over
the
over
place.
the table. Squeeze it if you want to.
They're Kiri. They're in Bandland.
Oh,
The
good
bots have been
grief.
banished.
Oh, that ain't right.
What now?
I bought some shoes from the drug dealer down the street, and I don't know what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day.
Oh,
I can't believe I actually wanted Joe's mic to start working better.
I believe I purposely demonstrated that was not going to be a spit take joke because I was still drinking the gin and tonic when he said that. So.
You know, we had Zach on here earlier. He's talking about the Axiom Space. He's getting ready to launch. I'm going to read the news article here. Axiom Space is ready to launch its second ever private mission to the International Space Station on Sunday, May 21st. A flight that will mark a series of space flight first. The 10-day AX-2 mission to the International Space Station has been cleared for launch. Representatives from Axiom Space, NASA, and SpaceX said Saturday, May 20th, after completing one final launch readiness review. Liftoff is set for 5:37 p.m. tomorrow. Cool. Everybody be awake to watch it. On a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket and a Dragon capsule. Launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Let's see. I was trying to find.
the question is, Donna, who was smiling more, she or him?
They're launching 2 Saudi Arabians, and one is the first woman from Saudi Arabia in space.
Wow, Saudi Arabia actually admitted they've got women?
This one probably wants to speak out in public and stuff like that, so they're trying to get her as far away from the country as possible.
You know, speaking of Saudi Arabia,
But the Saudis didn't like her, so they shot her into space. Okay.
Gabriel Iglesias got booked to go to the Middle East, and he was shocked. But they took care of him, treated him nice and all. He's like, they know me? He's like, and the guy that was driving around was like, oh, yeah, you're the second biggest comedian in all the Middle East. He says, really? He said, really? He said, who's number one? And the taxi driver or whatever says, Jeff Dunham. He started
Kill you.
Yep. Ahmed.
There are actually reaction videos of Arabic people being shown Ahmed the terrorist for the first time.
He did one in Kuwait, and one of the Kuwaiti princes showed up at the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of, it's being a Kuwaiti prince, you have to be somewhat dignified,
Mm-hmm.
rolling in his chair, laughing his ass off. It was hilarious. And he said it's kind of funny. You figure Kuwait, being the Islamic country it is, would have a problem with it. He says didn't have a problem. He says he went to Malaysia, which is also an Islamic country.
Yeah.
All sorts of problem. They wanted him to change his show for Malaysia, and just if you ever saw, I can't remember the name of the special where they showed that. Something about all over the world or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All over the place, I think.
All over the place.
Yeah.
And he shows up, and his manager comes in and says, We got a little problem here with the Malaysian Ministry of Arts, or something like that. And it says, there's a few things in your skit they don't want you to do. It's like, what? They tell us this now, 3 hours before the show. They tell us I got to change the show. Yeah, thanks, guys.
And the crowd got pissed.
He told him he told the crowd. So there's a few things they don't want me to do in the show. So if you're expecting to see certain things in the show, I apologize for not being allowed to show them. But I don't want to go to prison in Malaysia.
No.
Oh, have y'all seen the special where Peanut slips out of his hand?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing something, Peanut's doing this, and all of a sudden, Peanut slips and flies halfway across the stage and does a head slide. And he's like, he goes over, picks him up, and he goes, "All right, who is that? I can't hear I." He goes, "What are you saying?"
Yeah, so many prop malfunctions. I wonder how many of them
are real
malfunctions.
Yeah.
Well, the one where he loses his hair, that one was the staged one.
My favorite one is the one where Ahmed's legs kept falling off the stand. He was trying to sit him on the stand, set him on. So, and Parnell. Parnell comes out, puts the legs back on the stand, walks back off stage. Jeff's talking when the legs fall off the stand again. So they yell, "Parnell!" Parnell comes out with a row of duct tapes. Ahmed to the stand. And Ahmed's like, "Duct tape? Really?"
I like the one where Ahmed's rib cage starts falling off and they have to keep fixing it.
Not seen that one.
Okay.
I like the one where Peanut's like, "Where's your other hand?"
Oh, my favorite one was Peanut wanted to be a ventriloquist. So he brought out little Jeff, the little Jeff dummy, and Jeff Dunham got pissed off because Peanut was making fun of him with the little Jeff doll. So he brought out a little Peanut doll. And it was like he was running 3 different ventriloquist dummies at the same time, and they were all arguing.
He's got talent.
He's the best there is right now.
I really wonder if people that are ventriloquists with multiple puppets are actually just schizophrenic.
He actually brings that up in one of his comedy skits where Peanut's talking about how each one of his puppets is actually a different aspect of Jeff Dunham's personality. And he says, when you're crazy and zany, he says, "That's me." It says, when you're old and cranky, that's Walter. And he says, "What about Ahmed?" He looks at him and goes, "You sick fuck."
Well, Bubba J does, but I like now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Bubba J was one of the ones he had to cut out of Malaysia.
No, it was
Ahmed he had to cut out. I'm pretty sure.
No, they love Ahmed.
Okay.
There were just some things he couldn't say. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, "I kill you." He couldn't say "I kill you."
Oh, that's a threat, so he probably couldn't say it. But
"I kill you."
He could probably say silence though. Silence.
I can't say that. Yes.
Probably what he ended up saying.
But what was fun? That argument that he got into with Peanut was about how technically Says technically, every one of your ventriloquist dummies has slept with your wife. It's like, what? He goes, when you're crazy and zany, that's me. It says, when you're old and cranky, that is Walter.
Well, I forget which one it was, but I think he's asking, or Peanut's asking, where are we? And he's like, well, what do you remember? He's like, well, I was scared as hell, and all. And he's like, where do you think we're in hell?
I love what's the new passwords.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too.
I mean that's a beautiful remake of Who's on First.
Yes.
Mm.
I remember talking about Ian's Bobcat was here this
If I ever
That's Walter.
if I ever get a job at Walmart,
That's gotta
as
be
a
Walter.
Walmart greeter, this is exactly how I want to get fired right here.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it's ironic how much Walter looks like a very high-placed politician.
Yes, because he actually does shows. If you're on Facebook, I highly recommend you type in Jeff Dunham and follow his page because it's hilarious. Because he actually does stuff on his page that you won't normally see on his show, and one of them is the State of the Union address with Walter playing Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Because except for the fact that you can tell it's a ventriloquist dummy, you can't tell it's not Joe Biden. Not that I'm saying Joe Biden is a ventriloquist dummy, but there are some remarkable similarities.
No. Ronald Reagan was a ventriloquist. No, Ronald Reagan was a Disney
animatronic. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
do you remember the spitting image Muppets?
yes.
Yes.
Those were.
Wasn't that a British production?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, I believe it was because there was a video of Genesis with
Yes.
Yes.
Land of Confusion had
Land
it
of
in it.
Confusion, thank you very much. Where they did the
Disturbed
whole
did a cover
video
of that
with
for
puppets. Yes.
Disturbed did a cover of that song for those of you who are not familiar with Genesis. Genesis also had another song that I never thought would have a cover made of it.
Really?
Ghost has made a cover of Jesus He Knows Me.
Welcome to Walmart. Get your shit and get out. I try not to do too many Walter impersonations because the older I get, the more I sound like him.
Yeah.
What the hell?
The older the
Oh,
I get,
you
the
an
more
idiot.
I
You act like I gave you cake.
I love it when he's talking about the Energizer Bunny. He's talking about, just when I think there's a product coming out that I could really use or really like, that damn bunny comes rolling across the screen.
Oh.
I'm very annoyed with myself that I forgot Bobcat was in town this weekend.
Who was?
Last time he was here, Bobcat Goldthwait. He was here last time we saw him at the comedy club in town.
Oh, man.
He was funny.
There was a picture of him and the guy that co-starred with him in Police Academy movies that was like real shy and timid.
Oh, the lady?
No, the guy.
Tim Kaczynski?
Yes.
Yes.
And there's a picture of them, back then and now, and I'm like, oh man, this is cool. Because apparently they're still friends.
These little electric cars you can get for kids to ride around in the yard, stuff like that, right?
Power wheels.
Joe, bring this up for me because I want to show this to you guys. Okay. The Ducati Lamborghini V12 Vision Gran Turismo ride on sports car for kids in army green, large. Okay. $434. Yeah. I don't know about a kid, but I want one of those.
Yeah, there's a pink version for the girls.
But I like that army green one better.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'm like,
because you would have been the ultimate cool kid in your neighborhood if you had that.
When I first saw that, you know what I thought it was? I thought it was a vehicle from the video game Halo.
It does look a little bit like a Warhog.
It almost looks
a
like
much
something that
version.
Master Chief would be riding around in. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Griff, Chupa thingy.
What would really be cool if that was a go-kart.
It doesn't.
Well, y'all are, John. You may have been over, deployed when this happened. They had like a Power Wheels racing league here in town.
I do not remember that now.
Well, my kids had, the Corvettes. Corvette, should be a little souped up hot rod, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was only a 6-bolt. But down in the dash had the little knockout for a switch, a place for a second battery. My kids had a 12-volt, high-speed Corvette. And I found out the 6-volt versions are geared higher than the 12-volt versions. So when you flip it over to 12 volts, they're faster than a 12-volt.
Ah.
Yeah, I got busted for cheating.
But it was worth it.
If you're ever doing the Boy Scouts Pinewood Derby races,
yeah,
you can't put bottle rockets on your Pinewood Derby car. I found that. That's
no, they frown on that.
They frown up on that, especially when it flies off the end of the track, hits kids downright. But
put an eye on with that damn thing.
And then Mark Rover and his CO2 powered ones.
Well, I'm going to tell you, bottle rockets are nothing. Strap an Estes D engine on one of them things.
Oh,
V12 engine.
Yeah. Just remember, don't counteract the parachute charge somehow.
No, you use a D12O. There's no
parachute charge. Okay.
Yeah. Guys, y'all might want to spread out.
This one's going into orbit.
Yeah, y'all threw me off earlier. I had to check the damn time, but now it's time for the...
Yeah. Dawn showed up early. I didn't know when to play the damn thing. Okay.
I just threw an entire wrench in the entire night.
I think it's hilarious because, like I said, I had to double check. Of course, I fell asleep earlier.
I can see it. Chris is over there napping in his chair or something like that, and all of a sudden he hears, "It's almost the end of the show." What the hell?
What the crap? What time is it? They're like, this is bull crap.
Oh, and John, I learned that a D12O will lift a 20-pack of ladyfingers.
Why did you put an Estes rocket engine in a 20-pack of ladyfingers?
Well, actually, I duct taped a long stick to the D12 and duct taped the ladyfingers on top of it.
Once again, I reiterate, why?
Why not?
Because he can.
Because he was home.
Hey.
He was home and he was unsupervised.
He was living up to the name of the show.
Hey, needless to say, the neighbors were impressed and pissed at the same time.
I bet they were.
Hey, it'll lift them almost 500 feet in the air.
That used to be one of the secrets of my childhood. Is you do something so stupid that the neighbors can't figure out if they want to call the cops or not. It's like that little. I had to call the cop, but that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, you get bonus points for that one.
Oh, and there's nothing like the cinder block and 2x8 ramp for your bicycle.
Big wheels.
Oh God, Josh.
I have broken so many big wheels jumping ramps. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah, we used to jump big wheels. That was fun. Of course, the guy's yard that we did it in, it had this nice terraced yards, and we figured about halfway down, you can get enough speed up going halfway down to the terrace. If you put the ramp at the bottom, you'll almost clear it to the second terrace.
That's one of the things on my bucket list I never finished. And if I ever manage to buy one of these adult big wheels, I will do it.
What?
Suicide by Big Wheel?
We had a really big snow and ice storm, mainly ice. It's kind of sucked. And they closed the W road.
Was this the one in '84?
Before that.
Okay.
Well,
Probably
no, it might have been
78,
84.
79.
You might be right about that. It was right around that 82, 84, somewhere in there. But they closed the W road, but they finally managed to open Taft Highway, which is the other road that goes up on Sickle Mountain. We drove up there with flexible flyer sleds and came back down the W road on sleds.
At 75 miles an hour.
And, I wonder sometimes. I know we probably came down. There were straightaways down there where we were probably doing in excess of 30 or 40. So that's.
You can hit 45 on a 10-speed down through there.
Oh, easy. The W road, for those of you who don't know, it's on the side of Signal Mountain. And at the very top, they've got a zigzag to get down the escarpment, which is the big 75-foot drop on the side of the mountain. Once you get down there, they've got this long road that runs down. It's a long straightaway, pretty much. A little bit curvy, not bad. But at the very bottom, there's one more curve before you hit Mountain Creek Road. That's the one that'll kill you.
Yep.
Hit is the operative word here.
It comes up quick and it's deceptively curvy.
It's sharp. Yeah. Well, guys, we got to.
But I've always wanted to go down that on a big wheel.
The cool big wheels are the ones that had the pull-up brake on the side.
Yes. The super slide big wheels.
Get a Green Machine.
Yep.
No, Dream Machine had the two handles that you steered with because the back end steered. And then they had the, what do they call it? Power slide big wheels? Had the brake on the side. So.
Yeah. And guys, we got to wrap it up and say good night, everybody.
Hey,
Good night, everybody.
Go see Dan on Last Man Standing.
Yeah, go watch Dan on Last Man Standing because he's got. I'm gonna spoil it. You got some breaking news you got to tell people. So with that, we're gonna say good night, everybody. But y'all need to go see what Dan's got to say at the beginning of Last Man Standing because this is big news.
Your life.
This is big. Dan's got big news for Last Man Standing. So we'll talk to y'all later. Good night, everybody.
I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.